Hi, I'm Erica, your host of Powered by Joy podcast. And this week's going to be a little bit shorter. We just celebrated 25 published episodes last week, and this week will be a short interim where we won't be doing a full-length episode. I know it's almost impossible for me to do a short one, but if you have listened to any other podcast, you know that here we are seeking to find more joy in our lives, feel less stuck, frustrated, bored, angry, just looking to figure out how to make some shifts in our lives and also be able to have more joy in our lives. So if that's something you're seeking to feel more alive and more joy and doing it without sacrificing your commitment to your family and your friends, then you are in the right place, my friends. So I have been getting a pattern coming to me. I've just been noticing it in when I'm reading things, listening to things, just observing things going on in my life, and even in music I'm listening to. I've been noticing a theme about what is called sometimes the light and the dark. So we talk a lot about joy here and abundance and love and kindness and thinking about the things that are our strengths and our good attributes. But there's also what is known as the darkness or the dark side, being in reference to some of our negative emotions and patterns and feelings, all of those things that come up, and some of our behaviors that we've learned in our lifetime that are probably not something that we usually embrace or love, and sometimes we actually feel shame about them. So I thought it was kind of appropriate that I had a light and a dark background, and I want to just address the fact that in this journey of life, things are not all joy and happiness and seeking positivity and love and abundance. Oftentimes there's a lot of suffering and stress and sadness and grief and all those other emotions that can be really taxing on our energy. But at the same time, we have to let ourselves feel both sides. And yesterday, I'm a little late to the party, but I watched that movie about the emotions. I think it's Inside Out. And the second one's about to come out. And so my son said that we had to watch it. So we watched it yesterday, and it was on the same basic thing. So I was like, wow, this is definitely a theme coming through. And we are going to talk more about this in some longer full-length episodes. But this week, I just wanted to tell you that if you're somebody who feels like you struggle with some of those darker, harder, sadder emotions, it's all good too. Like, we're not supposed to just shove down and only be in the light and in the love and in the joy and things like that I spend a lot of time talking about. And there's a character in the movie and they're the emotions, and one is joy, and I just chuckled because I could hear myself a little bit in that. And then there was sadness, who also needed to be embraced. And in the end, it was needed so that the little girl could feel the joy, because she had felt something sad and not happy. Then she got to have the experience in space for family and friends and things that do bring her joy to come into her lives and make her feel different. So then she felt both, the contrast. So I just wanted to do a super fast episode where I just talked about, about the act of embracing both sides or all of our emotions and figuring out on this path, how do we embrace our flaws and our struggles that we personally deal with, and be compassionate with ourselves and kind to ourselves like we are to other people, in addition to when we're feeling the happy and the joy and the pleasure and all the goodness. Like, how do we do that? So we're going to explore that a little bit moving forward. But today, it's mainly just like knowing and hearing from somebody that is normal and it's not anything to be ashamed of, and that we need to embrace all of our emotions. We don't want to live in the heavier, harder emotions. And so that's why we do spend time talking about different tools and thought processes and things that I've learned over the years, because I did in the past spend a lot more time residing in those heavier, harder darker emotions. And it took me learning tools and learning from reading, podcast, counseling, coaching, all the programs I've put myself through, that it was like, okay, there can be both, but we don't want to deny one or the other. So I hope that this little tidbit helped, that you can feel like, oh, I am normal, that I have both, and I shouldn't be just in joy, and I'm not going to give myself permission to feel joy because I'm over here in grief. Like, all of them go together, and we're made to feel all of our emotions so that we feel whole. And we will explore more of that in some weeks to come. So I look forward to talking to you more at length in one of my longer episodes about those. And in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely week going forward. And thank you for joining me for this quick little tidbit. And if you find this episode or this whole podcast helpful, I hope that you will share it with others. And if this is your first one you're tuning into, there are 25 before that you can go back and listen to. There's tons of content there already. We're 6 full months in the bag, full of content you can go back and listen to and binge if you would like. So you're welcome to do that, or you can also find me on Instagram and follow what's going on with life there too. So thank you for joining on another week of seeking more joy in our lives. Love you. Mwah.